take a few questions afterwards, not a lot, but he'll be here in just a couple minutes. We'll be ready to go. Any questions before we start? Everybody got their white? Everybody good to go? Okay.
Like you, sir, we're professionals.
You're ready to go. You're professional. Absolutely. In now, have to get out.
Tell me what to do. You ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start by telling you all thank you for being here and giving me a chance. I've had the distinct pleasure of speaking with almost all of you at some point in my career. But I don't think anything's bothered me more than what's occurred in Carroll County, Indiana in my entire lifetime. And even the notion that there would be even the perception of a cover-up in regards to an investigation involving 4 little girls is not only unsubstantiated, but, ladies and gentlemen, it strikes me at the very core of who I am and the agency that I represent. I'd give my life to find out who killed those little girls. And with specific comments made, such as no answers to the family, what happened, no one's been brought to justice. I hope that one day we can tell you what we know. And I hope one day I can look into the eyes of a person that killed 4 little girls and then explain to you what we knew and when. But criticize me all you want to. I'm not going to do it today, for a number of reasons that all of you know because you've all been around a long time. I've not heard from anybody from the NAACP concerning this case. I've not had an opportunity to talk with them, nor have our investigators or anybody from the ISP. I didn't create the sticky note today. The sticky note is of those 4 little girls, to include Abby and Libby, and Connie, and Carrie-Elle, and Kiera, and Kiana. Sticky note's been on my desk for months, close to a year now. And I have the exact same one at home. It's the last thing I see every single day. The Carroll County residents have endured something that very few of us will ever be able to comprehend or understand. It's the first time, at least in my career, that we've had a storefront that's housed an investigation for anything. It's housing 2 very critical investigations, probably 2 of the most critical investigations in Indiana likely in our history. We will stay in Delphi, as I told you many months ago, until I'm no longer the superintendent or not breathing, whichever comes first. This is so very complicated, and even the inference that it's about race is so very wrong. It's never mattered to me, it never will. The notion that we will not do everything within our power, within right and left limits of what we can do legally, morally, and ethically, is just simply wrong. I encourage the partnership with the folks that are here in Indianapolis right now, with the NAACP. They have ideas, suggestions, things that we could do that we haven't, things we can do to additionally push this message, push the awareness of what happened in Flora back in November of 2016. But when I wonder what's most wrong with society, it comes to mind that we just jump out in front of things that we don't understand, and we say things to draw something. And that's what I'm having a really hard time understanding. That's why I thought it was important that I came out to all of you today. Anytime we're talking about this case is a good day. So for that, I say thank you to the folks that brought this out today during the news conference that occurred earlier. I encourage the dialogue. I encourage their opinions. I encourage them perpetuating a model of awareness, because somebody out there knows who did that to those 4 little girls. I cannot allow this issue to smolder for a number of reasons, and I think all of you understand why. I cannot allow a false narrative to be perpetuated into the culture of who we are as a people. I can't allow that to happen. Are we perfect? No, we're not perfect, and we've had some bad days. But I committed to you a long time ago that when we have those days, I'll step up and step out and take responsibility for them, and I know that I'll have to do it one day again. But I'm not today. I'm not today. The people that have been involved in this case from the very beginning, it's changed them, it's altered them, it's probably even hurt them. So this is very personal to me, and it will always be personal to me. And for this to happen, again, in such a rural community in Indiana, tells a lot about who we are, and I think that's why it's so personal. But again, I'm going to close by saying to you, it's the last thing I think of at the end of the day, along with the agency that I represent and people out there doing incredibly dangerous work, that I hope I get through the night without that call. And then the first thing I think of in the morning is I didn't get that call, I get another day, and maybe today is the day for this. So any notion that we don't care hurts me deeply. Any questions?
Doug, I'm just going to be direct with you about the elephant in the room. Is the reason why the family feels like there hasn't been more communication because members or a member of the family is being looked at in this case? We just got information within the last 24 hours that at least one person in the family, their workplace was visited by an investigator. What's going on?
Wouldn't you expect that to happen? Okay, we talked about this before. We talked in my very office, we talked about this. And everybody's a suspect until they're not. Wouldn't you expect us to do that? So it's not an elephant in the room at all. I'm not going to tell you what we know about what we know, or about what we know about who, but I will tell you that we will do everything within our power to talk to anybody that we can. They might be friends, neighbors, family members, or coworkers of family members, but I think that's what you would expect. What else?
This isn't just the NAACP that we've heard this from. I've been up in Flora. I've talked to community members who've also had concerns that the speed of the initial investigation was hampered by possibly some bias or prejudice, but you're saying that is not the case?
We weren't there. We've talked about what happened early on in the Flora case. It wasn't our best day. We talked about that. Again, I'll jump on the sword. I'm not sure I'll do this right, but I wish that we would take the rearview mirror down. I mean, I think if I asked any one of you if you had a redo or a do-over, you'd probably say yes. We have to deal with what we have today, but I certainly acknowledge now. Sometimes frustration, particularly today, has to do with the lack of information, because we get information so readily almost anywhere we wanted about almost anything. But like I told you earlier, I'm not going to tell you what we know. That creates criticism sometimes. And I really ask that rather than that criticism go to the guys and the gals that are doing this and have lived every single minute of their life since this happened, be mad at me. Don't be mad at the people that are trying to do the job.
While you are working leads, is there going to be any sort of communication with any of the family moving forward? I think that has been the number one criticism from them, is that we understand you've got leads that you can't talk about perhaps, but can you at least give us a phone call, let us know, you're working on this is important to you. We've talked about you calling, the mother of the victims before, and as far as I know from her, that hasn't happened. Is there going to be some level of communication moving forward?
It would be my hope that there is. I got out in front of myself a bit there. Again, I got out in front of myself a bit there, and it was recommended to me that I not reach out to the family. That's difficult for me to not do.
Why was that recommended?
It was just recommended that I did not talk to the family because it wasn't a part of the day-to-day operation of the investigation. And that made sense to me. I understood that.
Has this case, in their words, been botched? Has evidence and circumstances been compromised to the point that it's hurting the investigation? Or is the physical evidence, the conclusions of forensic investigators still valid?
Yeah, I don't believe it's hurt it, David. I think that it's delayed it. So we've got a bit of a delay here, but we have tremendous federal partners, and we'll continue to utilize those resources and those assets of both our local, state, and federal partners, and that's what you should expect, and that's what we're doing. What the timeline is, I can't say, nor would I if I knew.
Does it disappoint you that we're at almost near the 1-year mark and we still, really haven't heard of any sort of leads or anything that would make us assume that we're at one step closer? Are we one step closer to finding a killer?
Death, dying, destruction, hurt, pain, and sorrow happens every day in our state, and I see it almost every single day. I can't just go on from this one to the next one. So I'm as frustrated as anybody is. I hope that one day that I can look into the eyes of at least 2 killers from a very small community in Indiana. So of course I'm frustrated. Of course I'm frustrated. But I'm not mad. I'm incredibly blessed to be able to represent so many incredible people and to see and shake hands with so many incredible citizens that support what we do. I am not going to pay attention to the very few number of people that don't and that choose to criticize what we're trying to do and why, because I can't make them happy. I just simply can't. But my commitment is that we will not rest. We will not rest until this is done. I really, again, in closing, thank you all. I see so many partners out there, and I really appreciate the time that you've taken to come and see me, and I hope that I hope this helps. I hope it helps. Hope it helps people heal.
Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.